Welcome back to the studio, everybody. Delighted to be joined by Kate Rosenshine, who is
Hello.
from Microsoft
Hi.
in the UK. Kate, firstly, congratulations on a fantastic Q&A
Thank you.
yesterday within the keynote. You must be very proud,
Yes,
obviously.
it was a great experience.
You've had a busy future to code.
I
There was
have.
a keynote, there was
I
a breakout
have.
session.
Yeah.
I have, and you know what? It's
Yeah.
my first one, so
Wow.
extra
I'm
special.
worried at the end of this you're going to get airlifted out
Yeah.
to do something else. That's what I think.
You won't be back here next year,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But Kate, obviously, there's a lot of talk yesterday around artificial intelligence, or AI as we commonly know it. And I think there's often a lot of confusion around what AI really is. So I think for the layman, would you be able to describe to us in its simplest form, really what does AI mean to people?
Yeah, so it's interesting because AI has come into the mainstream, and right now I think what AI means to a lot of people is not just the technical definition, but also everything that sits around it. And a big part of that is what it means to a business, what it means to society, and everything within that sort of ecosystem. But fundamentally, when we talk about AI, it's not any sort of crazy magic, even though we like to think it's
that's a
very,
shame.
very cool. But it's machines or algorithms taking large amounts of data,
Yeah.
ingesting that data, iterating on their models, and creating an outcome that is a predefined goal that we as AI practitioners or as business leaders define. The big difference with AI is that it's not explicitly being told what to do, right? So you get an outcome that is aligned with your goal, but how it gets there, that's where the sort of interesting things happen. I don't want to call it magic because it's not magic, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Excellent.
Is that what the whole big data and the way it reasons, is that why it's such a transformative force then?
Absolutely. So if you think about us here today in the Excel, just the amount of data that people walking around are creating, doing nothing. Everybody has a cell phone. That's a data, a data point collector. So we have more and more data that was never before available. And that's what really superpowers this technology, because you can't do good AI without good data.
Yeah.
Like the fundamentals of AI is the data.
What does that term really mean, Kate? You've referenced good data there.
Good
So say
data.
that in quotes, people talk about good data.
Good
What
data.
does what does good data really look like?
I can tell you what bad data is. So good data. So what's really interesting is that data collection is not a science. There are no rules for how data is collected and what the governance around that is. So what we see a lot is data being collected for a specific purpose, which is great, but then practitioners not exactly knowing how it was collected, what it was collected for, what was the intended use. So all of that is really important to understand, because fundamentally what you want to do is use the right data for the right outcome.
Okay.
When we see problematic AI, it's usually, or not usually, but often it's down to the fact that the data wasn't fit for the purpose of the goal.
Oh, right, okay. So speaking of good data then, we had a great chat yesterday about the AI for Good program and AI for Earth in particular. We had Lucas Joppa here. We heard from some of our UK cohort down in the experience zone. So what is it about AI that can have such a massive societal impact?
Yeah, so I think the AI for Good is a wonderful project, but even if we think about our daily lives and how we interact with it, what it really does is allow us to supercharge our capabilities. Machines are really good at taking large amount of data and detecting patterns or calculations. Like I'm pretty good at math, but I'm pretty sure AI is going to do it better and faster and more accurately. On the other hand, there are a lot of human-like qualities, right? Creativity, counterintuitive learning, that are really coming to light now and becoming more and more important. So human judgment.
Right.
Which I always get laughs because I think some people find that funny, but humans are good at making judgments. Machine, they have a goal, how they get to that goal doesn't really matter. So I think all of that creates a lot of good and allows people to do a lot more interesting things. But obviously, with the ecosystem, I saw a lot of the startups from last year's cohort downstairs.
Yeah.
This year's cohort has
Yeah.
just been announced. So I think this technology can serve not only good for society, but also for the planet as well.
Yeah. You mentioned obviously the people there, the people that are creating, I guess, these solutions and doing the good, I guess, in society. When you think about them and needing the right skills or being reskilled, I guess, learning new skills and being reskilled, what are some of the ways that we can help, I guess, those individuals to be successful with AI?
Yeah, so I think access to technology has greatly improved. I was saying yesterday to someone when I was learning code, and I'm not going to age myself to say what my first language was, but you opened a book when you didn't know something, and it didn't tell you where you went wrong. So I think there's a lot of demystifying needed to be done because it's become a lot more accessible and there's a lot more room for creativity. However, I still think that people don't really understand where to start, and I think that's the biggest hurdle. I think business leaders need to start, they recognize that it's important to skill their employees. Not everybody needs to be a data scientist, but AI literacy is very important to create that common language within an organization, because otherwise, how are you going to work together and how are you going to interact with AI? But there's a lot of, I guess, challenges about where exactly to start. So we have great resources online. We have the AI Business School, which is now the AI School, I think. So it has a business track, which we did with INSEAD. And there's also the AI technical track, which is from beginner all the way to advanced, and it's pretty fun. So that's a good place to sort of start thinking about how to really get involved with AI, no matter what your level is.
Fantastic. Yeah, we've got our skilling zone downstairs and also LinkedIn Learning as well. So that'll be a good place to
LinkedIn Learning is a good one.
Yeah, well,
it is a good one.
I was really nervous as to whether or not we're going to have enough to fill the time.
But we could go on for another 10 minutes.
But you did both warn me you were talkers, and you were right. And we're on question 2 of about 15, so thank you. Really appreciate your time and enjoy the rest
Thanks for having
of Future
me.
Decoded.
Thanks.